Hello everybody, Jason W. Revolution Cave for an unplanned impromptu, as they say, unplanned episode of Hey, Do You Remember? Because I had a nightmare last night. Hope you're all doing well. I had a nightmare last night. I haven't had a nightmare in a long time. Or at least one that I remembered or woke up remembering or knew while I was having the nightmare that I was having a nightmare. I've been able to do that since I was a kid, like know that I'm dreaming. I don't remember the nightmare. I know that you're all dying to know what the nightmare was. I don't remember it because it's been all day. I just know that it was something, and it was enough to make me, remember it in the morning, whatever. But more importantly than that, it made me think, do I remember childhood nightmares, right? We had dreams, but of course we had nightmares. And I was thinking, do I remember any of mine? And the answer, of course, is a resounding yes. Of course I remember some of my nightmares as a kid. Now, y'all have talked about, or we all have talked about, recurring nightmares, recurring dreams. My memory wants to tell me that I've had recurring nightmares or had recurring nightmares in childhood. I know that I've had recurring dreams in adulthood, absolutely. And they're all the common ones, the school-based dreams, the college-based dreams. I do dream that I have long graduated, but how do I do it? I've long graduated, but found out that I didn't pass some classes. That's what I've graduated, I've been in my career, but I find out that I didn't pass some classes. And so that freaks me out. I dream that I'm in school and I can't find the class that I'm supposed to be in. I dream that I'm in school and have not been to a particular class for months and can't remember where to go. And I also dream that I absolutely cannot find my locker or know my locker combination, still at 47 years old. But childhood nightmares, do we remember our childhood nightmares? And for me, I do. Quickly, in current dreams and adult dreams, nightmare or not, I don't walk in my dreams. I can fly. I can, so the only way I can describe it is picture a cheetah, right? In my dreams, and this is God's honest truth. In my dreams, I run on all fours and then I can glide. I don't fly like Superman in the sky. I run on all fours very fast and then I can kind of glide. And that is how I travel in current dreams. Yes, 100% truth. Okay, childhood nightmares. Do I remember them? Yes, I do. So a couple of my recurring nightmares, or nightmares that I at least think were recurring. One is just so awesome. One is so great that it's so detailed. It's the most detailed nightmare I've ever had. And it was kind of the most realistic. And it also had one of those part twos. And a part two of a childhood nightmare is you think you woke up, right? You woke up in the nightmare, thought that you were awake, and then weird stuff happens and you realize you're not awake. That happened in this. So all I can remember, all I can remember are parts. So I was home with my dad. I was 8, 9 years old having this nightmare. I'm home with my dad. We are in our family room on our couch watching TV. He sends me up to the fridge for an apple. I go up, I come down to get the apple. My dad is no longer on the couch, and there's a giant hole in the couch. My dad has fallen into the couch. Then I turn to the television, and The Price is Right is on, and Bob Barker is on, or, you know, a dream version of Bob Barker, and he starts to get attacked by critters, furry critter-like, you know, the movie Critters, furry critter-like things. The wake-up part is where I jump into my parents, so I run upstairs apparently, or I'm just automatically upstairs in my parents' bedroom, and they had a water bed, and I jump onto the water bed because I think that I'm awake at that point. I think that I've made it to my parents' room and I'm awake. So I jump on the waterbed, and of course I fall through the waterbed, and I'm falling and falling and falling. And then I eventually wake up. That's a good one. I enjoy that one, and I still remember it to this day. How is that possible? You know, how do they have such an impact on us? Other ones that I have where there is a killer, right? There is a monster. To be honest with you, and again, no exaggeration, it's almost like a Jason Voorhees type of killer. And we're in a neighborhood, and I'm hiding from the killer, and I decide that this is my dream, and I'm going to make friends with the killer and join the murder spree. Yeah, so I just say, you know, hey, look, this is my dream. We're teaming up. So I remember dreams like that too. I was always a big bowling fan as a kid. Obviously, I've told that story. And I had a recurring nightmare that my parents and my aunt and uncle were on a bowling league, which they were. So there's some fact to this. My parents and my aunt and uncle were on a bowling league on Sunday nights when I was a kid, 6, 7 years old. And they would take us to the bowling alley with them, and we'd play in the arcade, asteroids and things like that. And we would have kiddie cocktails at the bar while my parents and my aunt and uncle bowled. I remember the place. I remember what it was called. I remember where it was, not there anymore. So I'm at that bowling alley with my parents, my aunt and uncle, and they're talking. They're in like a foursome talking. They are completely ignoring me, and I am trying to get their attention because I'm trying to lift up a very heavy bowling ball, and I can't hold on to it, and I drop it, and it goes through the floor, and I fall into the hole that I caused by dropping the bowling ball. Also, very factual, no exaggeration, that is a nightmare that I had as a kid. What else? Oh, of course, the holiday nightmares. The holiday nightmares. So many times. And my kids have told me this too. So my 11-year-old has started to have the holiday nightmares where this always happened on Christmas Eve for me. So it was Christmas Eve, you know, go to bed on Christmas, and I had nightmares on Christmas Eve about, and again, very real, and you think that you're not dreaming, but you are. I either get out of bed and go to the tree, and everything is unwrapped. There's nothing wrapped, and it's just junk. It's not stuff that I asked for. It's not stuff that I wanted. It's just junk. And like in the dream, the build, the excitement of Christmas just sinks because you didn't get anything and nobody even wrapped it, you know. So I always had the holiday nightmare. I certainly don't remember it at all as an adult, but Liam started saying, I think last Christmas, he said, I had a dream that, you know, I woke up and all of the presents were like stacked on the couch, like there was only a few, and you know, they were just like stacked on the couch, all neat and tight, you know, and there was nothing all over the floor. And so he, you know, it's cool that he's, you know, starting to have those holiday nightmares too. Yeah. So, and I remember again being aware that I was dreaming and being, you know, really feeling trapped in the dream, you know, knowing that you're in a dream, trying to calm yourself down in the dream, but still not being able to wake up. I definitely remember some dreams where I can't move, where I am absolutely paralyzed in the dream. And I'm afraid, these next two things I'm afraid are really happening in real life as a kid. Certainly we know of sleep paralysis, where you absolutely, you are, you know, caught in between awake and dream and you can't move. And I don't know if you really can't move or if just, you know, where you are in sleep, just, I don't know. But there were dreams where I couldn't move. And I'm afraid that at that point I was experiencing some sleep paralysis and I was probably not able to move. I'm also not able to breathe in some nightmares to the point where it hurts. And so that's where I think that I might have been, I don't know why, but as a kid, holding my breath, or, you know, I certainly didn't have sleep apnea as an 8-year-old, but I couldn't breathe in my dream. And, you know, it was so real that I think possibly I wasn't breathing while sleeping either. So that stuff is scary. I don't like that. Liam has awful night terrors when he has a fever, and they are gut-wrenching. And I you know, they've reduced me sometimes to just tears, because when he gets sick, he gets fevers. And when he gets fevers, he has night terrors. And oh my goodness, that poor child is so scared and so confused and wide awake and babbling, you know, almost a different language. And he's seeing things and he's reaching out to things, and oh, it's awful. It's awful. And the only thing that he responds to now, it doesn't matter what time it is, 3, 4 in the morning, I will carry him downstairs with me and we will put on a show called Odd Bods on Netflix or Amazon, because he liked that cartoon when he was a kid. And so that will like bring him back to earth. You know, I'll give him a popsicle, I'll put the television on for him. He wants lights on, but he is not, it's terrible. He is, it kills me when he goes through that. I just hold him and it's awful. But I didn't experience night terrors as a kid. But those are the main nightmares that I remember now. If we were to do a non-friendly family show, I would talk about other ways I was in control in some of my dreams, if you know what I mean. Those dreams don't happen anymore either, oddly enough. I think you know what I'm talking about. Those dreams do not happen anymore at all. If at all, I don't remember them, or they're so sporadic. But they happened all the time when I was a youngin', that is for sure. You know, my 20s or late teens or whatever. Those kinds of dreams happened all the time, for sure. But that's it. That's about it as far as nightmares go. What are yours? Do you have any that you remember? Do you have any that really shook you up as a kid? You know, do you remember them today as an adult? Do you still have nightmares as an adult? I don't, thankfully, because, you know, with kids, you could have some pretty awful nightmares, and I'm thankful that I don't. I don't have any horribly vivid nightmares anymore. I have dreams about people, you know, from my past that I kind of wake up in a bad mood a little bit, but no nightmares. So those are the nightmares that I recall. Do you remember your nightmares from childhood? Put them down below, as they say in YouTube land. Good night now. Sleep tight.